What is up, guys, and welcome to a very festive episode of the Fresh Air Show. Yep.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Yep.
And absolutely no one helped me there.
Well, I was just waiting to see how long you would go for.
I thought you were going to stop halfway and I was going to finish it.
Oh,
The thing is,
we really should have choreographed this better.
the thing is when you sing something, it's gonna be totally out of sync. From at least two different points.
No, probably.
But hey, it's Christmas, guys. The holidays are on their
Merry
way.
Christmas.
That's a classic Vine.
Happy Christmas.
Yep. And Dudley, for the occasion, you've dressed yourself up as the Grinch.
I have indeed.
Yep. And thank goodness you're wearing that Santa Claus coat, because if you didn't, we might all be mistaking you for a festive Kermit the Frog or something. Wait, can you do a Kermit impression?
Hello! Kermit the Frog here. Oh, that doesn't
I
sound
think it needs to be a bit lower, like, hi ho, Kermit the Frog here.
You're not doing it properly, Kermit. Anyway, people will. It's Christmas, guys, and people will be wrapping up for the holidays, and gradually things will slow down once Christmas comes along.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Chestnuts roasting on the 11-headed dragon's fire.
Getting these out of the way, are we? Okay. Fish. Butterfly Venus flytrap. I have to say, this is... I can't believe it's the 12th podcast already.
Yep.
You know, like...
Yep,
12.
one for each month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
12 podcasts. We've been doing this for nearly a year, and Dudley still can't pronounce Round's name correctly.
Yeah?
Anyway, we look past that.
At this point, it's just me. I am Rowan.
I say Rowan. Well, it sounds like you're saying Rowan. But,
It's Rowan.
yeah, but
You
just
have
that...
a row with your family.
But just then you said Rowan.
Yeah.
I wanted to say before we go into the Christmas side of things, that I think this all kick-started with me doing these fresh powder videos with you ages ago, Daniel.
Yeah.
I just wanted to ask Rowan if she's caught up with those now, considering her appearance in the recent one, perchance.
I try to keep up, but I get sidetracked on YouTube, like, recommended videos and such. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know why this is in my recommendations, but I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah. Just like all of us.
Yeah.
So, Rowan, you actually have a bit of a Christmas story to tell. So.
I actually have two rather shocking Christmas stories.
Oh boy.
Does anyone have? Do you two have Christmas stories? Sorry, like.
Yeah, I do. I do have one that I have in mind, particularly. So who?
Mine's more of a collection of memories rather than whole stories, so I'll see what I can remember.
All right.
Yes, I've just got those two childhood stories that really just you wouldn't expect. Well, one of them you would. You want me to tell you both or just one?
Well, why not both?
Yeah, both. Go for it.
And I'll start with the one that was the first to happen, when me and my brother were very, very young. As you know, very young children are all about that Christmas, and they cannot wait to just rip into their presents. So, me and my brother were just like that. However, unlike most children, we actually did something about it.
Really?
Yep. So, as parents do, they put their, Santa puts the Christmas presents under the Christmas tree.
Yeah.
And the parents they lock the living room door, or they'll just make sure that the kids can't get there.
Mm-hmm.
And that didn't stop me and my brother.
Oh no!
We managed to pick the lock.
You managed to sneak down there.
Well, our house only has one like floor, so it was just a matter of going down the corridor and finding a way to open the door. It wasn't like a very complicated lock. It was just like one of those sort of screw locks, I guess.
Right.
We're both single floor house livers then, Rowan.
Yeah. So me and my brother managed to break in and get our hands on some of the presents.
Oh boy.
Yeah, but
You're
Alright,
so
thank you.
naughty. That'll put you on the naughty list of that next year or something.
Yeah. And our excited squeals and the sounds of ripping paper woke up my parents.
Oh
And
no.
they just walked in and they were like, Ronan? Ronan? And we were like, uh-oh.
Oh,
But
busted.
that's not the highlight of the story. The real highlight is what happened afterwards. See, again, me and my brother were still very young, so we still believed that, that thing. So they were like, okay, I can't believe you two have done this. You know what's going to happen? We're going to call Santa Claus right now and tell him to take those presents back.
Oh God!
Oh, the sheer fear and shock that was in our systems that night. We were like, no, wait, we didn't mean it, we're sorry. And we just sat in the kitchen as Mum was on the phone. I don't know if she actually called someone, I think she might have been calling my uncle, telling him about what just happened, but I don't know. We were just sitting there like, oh, we screwed up. We messed up.
Oh.
But of course, she came back in and she was like, all right, Santa knows that you were just very excited to get them, so he will let you have them this year. But if you do it again, oh, children.
Oh, jeez.
Never did it again.
I want to know what present you were holding in your hand when they said, we're going to call Santa and take them back.
Mousetrap, seeing as how you're a cat.
Very funny.
Yeah.
Actually, I think it may have actually been this one, not exactly a toy, but sort of like this sort of waterproof sand sculpture thing. Where you poured it in water, then you could sculpt it in the water, and then when you pulled it out, it was dry again.
Aquasand. I had that.
That was it. Where you put it in water, but you could take it out and it would just be dry again. Put it back in the bottle for next time. Put it back in the bottle for next time. So we had that, and I actually remember holding that as my mom and dad walked in. So.
Oh God. Well, before you get into your next story, Rowan, I do want to add my story to this. Now, Rowan, since you're the only one out of the three of us who's been to our house, I bet you've probably asked the question, why do we not hang anything in our stairway?
Why indeed?
Well, it's because of this one story that I remember. Well, I don't exactly remember this story, but I can picture it in my head. And so it was Christmas Day when I was about 9 or 10, and Christmas morning had arrived. Me and my brothers went downstairs with our parents, and everything was fine and dandy. And my dad at one point asked my older half-brother Michael to go up the stairs and bring down this box of glasses, because we were hosting Christmas dinner, so they wanted to set the table, I guess. And just so you know, our stairway used to be packed full of items, with picture frames and framed certificates of my mum and dad's diplomas or something. And it was particularly crowded because they had hung up this card line thingy. It was in the shape of Santa's reindeer, except the reins had like little pegs on them for you to hang the cards up.
I see.
And so my brother went upstairs to get this pretty large box, and you know when you're carrying something large, you kind of lose track of where the stairs are, and and so my brother slipped and literally tossed this box of glasses down the stairs, and it just all I
Oh,
I remember the thumping of it coming down, and I just turned around and I see the box bouncing off the floor like. But that's not the worst part of this story, because
oh,
my brother was still falling, and he tried to regain his balance by holding the walls of the stairway to try and stop himself, but in the process he dragged everything off the walls. The cards, the picture frames, the diplomas, everything. It just went crashing down like.
Oh.
And from then on, we never hung anything in the stairway again.
yeah,
it's still
once
like
is
it.
enough.
And it's still like it to this day.
That's another one of those moments you wish you had a camera for 250 quid from You've Been Framed.
That's a lifelong dream of mine, to see one of my family members on You've Been Framed.
I think everyone wants that at some point in their life.
Alright. So what about your other story, Ren? You gonna tell that?
Yeah. So this one takes many years later after the first fiasco. And it's a bit less about the Christmas side of things, more about, well, how do I put it? Let's just say the paranoia of what happened the last time probably hadn't quite left.
Oh god.
So, what happened was that the bedroom that me and Ronan were sleeping in was under a renovation, I think. I don't quite remember, but it's the only reason I can think of that we were in the situation, because we couldn't or wouldn't sleep in our bedroom for some reason. So Dad had to lay out a mattress in the living room where everything was.
Oh god, I can see where this is going.
Yes. So the three of us are all sleeping together because we were still young enough to be doing that. And we had a nice long sleep. It was nice. We were looking forward to the next morning. So me and Ronan wake up, and Dad's already gone, like maybe to shower or something. But we wake up and we're like, oh, hey, it's Christmas. And we're not as excited as usual, but because we're older, but, you know, still it's Christmas, free gifts. And
Yeah.
we get up and first our legs get stuck on something. We remove the quilt and we find our father had found a pair of handcuffs, and he took one cuff to each of our ankles and
What?
tied it to a nearby table.
Why?
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
God.
I'm not joking. You could ask my dad and he'd be like, yeah, I did that.
Why?
I don't know, probably to avoid us doing what we did so many years ago, but, you know. It
Alright.
was a very heavy table, like, not even a table, more like a cabinet table, full of things, so we couldn't lift it and get ourselves out. But that's not the worst part. The worst part is, Dad did not have the key to the handcuffs.
Oh no.
He had lost them ages ago.
So
He
what?
knew this. He
You-
knew he would not be able to find them, and he put us in them anyway.
What? Alright.
And that's a good summary of my dad right there. He'll
Wait,
do things that he knew he can't resolve.
You sure Santa didn't steal the key?
Oh god.
Never
Never
maybe
look at
he
your
did.
presents
That-
early,
that-
you young lady.
So yeah, that happened. We were like, Dad! He
So-
comes through and he's all smug and smiling, like, oh hey, I see you've noticed the addition to the room. And
So
we were
he,
like,
so he handcuffed your feet together while you were sleeping. Was this like
Yep.
was this like a psychological scarring thing? Like, don't ever do this again.
No, he just wanted to make sure we didn't get the presents. It was like, I mean, this wasn't even the year after. It was like maybe 5 years after the first fiesta, and
Jeez.
he just handcuffed us to a table by our ankles together,
Oh
Oh,
god.
God.
That's a pretty.
knowing that he did not have the key to them.
Oh, God, that's a pretty scary fear to have. Like, knowing that you've disappointed a holiday icon and you're in the living room where he's bound to show up delivering presents, and oh god, it's just I
But being handcuffed to your brother on Christmas Day. Oh, the humanity! Because I'm assuming you could lift the table leg up and you could get that part off the handcuffs at least, or were you stuck on that table all day?
Well, not all day, but it wasn't like a table, like a coffee table. It was like a computer table where you had like drawers for files and other tools. So it was really, really heavy. So even me and my brother, our young selves combined, couldn't lift it. Only Dad could do that.
oh god.
We were like, Dad, you have to get us out. And he's like, don't have the key.
So wait, so how
And
did
we
you
just
get out?
looked at him.
How did you get out eventually?
We actually went about it in very different ways. See, because we were near a desk table, there were a bunch of paper clips. So it's like, okay, just twist it like so, and da-da-da-da-da. And I picked myself out. My brother, he hacksawed his way out.
Wow.
Yeah, because we were in the living room and there were renovations going on, so there were tools handy. And he was like, okay, just get a hacksaw. Okay, and he just sort of sawed himself out.
I guess it's worth asking, but were these handcuffs plastic or were they metal?
Metal.
Oh god,
Jeez.
hacksawing through that would have been flipping awful.
Jeez.
Yes. And he actually had to hacksaw away the part that was like the actual cuff that was
Oh my
on his
god.
ankle. So he was at risk of hurting himself, and he was just like, alright, I'm gonna do it.
He was that desperate to get out of the
And I was like,
handcuffs.
Ronan, don't hurt yourself, please. I may be your sibling, but I don't hate you as much as it may seem like I do.
This just turned into Saw 5.
Oh god.
So are we going back to Halloween or are we still
No,
on Christmas?
we need to change the tone. More festive, more festive.
Oh, fresher show, oh, fresher show. This is the Christmas podcast.
So, Christmas this year. Are you guys excited?
Yes.
Not as excited as I used to be, but growing up, you know.
Yeah. Even though I don't think I'll be receiving as much this year, but I never let the Christmas spirit leave me. I dress for the occasion, and in case you're wondering, that jingling you're hearing, I'm wearing a sweater or a jumper in real life with jingle bells attached. So, just in case any of you were confused by the last 16 minutes of that.
I think I've got to an age where I struggle to think of what I'd like to get for Christmas, but
Yeah.
it doesn't mean I can't help but still enjoy Christmas time. You know, it's a happy time, I find. But I do know a couple of people at my workplace who despise Christmas, essentially. But I mean,
Jeez.
I guess they haven't had a great past with it. I don't know. But
Oh my god, I just remembered something my dad told me at one point. Okay, because you were talking about store owners with poor Christmas spirit, I remember, I think this was either last year or 2 years ago, but my dad basically told me about this store in Japan, who, as we all know, the main spirit of Christmas is mainly focus around Santa and focus on the birth of Jesus, right? Well, one store in Japan got that terribly, terribly mixed up.
Oh dear.
Because what did they have at the front of their store to welcome everyone with Christmas spirit? Santa nailed to Jesus' cross.
Oh! I was going to say Satan, but that's even more disturbing.
Yeah.
I don't know why that's so funny.
It's not even the cross isn't even Christmas. It's an Easter thing.
Yeah.
I mean, Jesus.
I don't know.
Yeah, you've got the two things mixed up. Like next thing you're gonna tell me, you're gonna have like the three wise men delivering presents or something.
Well, honestly,
That makes sense.
it's cultural differences.
Cultural difference
Yeah, I mean,
Hello,
it's like,
I'm Jesus Claus. Not related to Santa Christ.
Oh, definitely.
Santa Christ, Santa Christ. He shoots lasers from his eyes, and he also likes pancakes.
Yeah.
Wow, you turned him into a box of ho-ho-hos. I sure did.
What I like about another thing I like about Japan though is see they're not obviously they don't celebrate Christmas, but they do like to incorporate some of their stuff into it for the benefit of other countries and things. You know, like this is the best example I could think of for now. But like you get those Pokemon episodes where they're Christmas related, but they were made in Japan.
Yeah.
But another thing is, a while back I was trying to work out what I'd do if I went to Japan. So I was watching these random videos, and I found out, well, one, they have KFC in Japan, but at Christmas, they give you a whole roast turkey and a Christmas pudding with your KFC.
Whoa! A whole deep fried Kentucky Fried
Wow.
Turkey.
I don't know how much, to be honest, I don't know how much turkey it is when you're actually thinking about it, because it's quite big, but I know they give you a Christmas pudding. You get some turkey. You have to
Jeez.
look it up.
Like that was something interesting that I found at KFC as well. Like even here, like they said, I think that at one point they said they were going to try and do Kentucky Fried Turkey for the Christmas season, but I don't know.
Tasty.
I mean, it does sound like an interesting idea, but I've just not seen it in any of their recipes yet.
Hey, if we can enjoy turkey dinosaurs, and I've tried turkey sausages, but I'll take Kentucky Fried Turkey. I can see if I...
Yeah. So, you know, I was Christmas shopping a few days ago, and I remember I was looking through the board game section, or tabletop game section, as I prefer to call them, because let's face it, most physical games for children, they're hardly boards anymore. They're models, except
Yeah.
pretty much. And I remember looking up to see, basically, have any of you heard of this board game called Beware of the Dog?
Yes.
Nope.
Alright, Ryan, basically, it's about... The aim of the game is, there's like this sleeping bulldog in a kennel, and
Mhm.
he's guarding his food bowl. And
Yeah.
in that food bowl is a bunch of different coloured bones. And you basically... Every player has like these pair of cat paw tweezers or something, and you like try to grab the bones without waking the dog. And when you wake the dog, he like barks and jumps out at you like rah rah or something. Now,
This is starting to sound vaguely familiar.
yeah, and I looked up and I saw a Five Nights at Freddy's version of this game.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, that is what,
fancy.
kid friendly or not. That is how you advertise a product. Take
Make
it.
a board game out of it.
Yeah, take a normally jump scary board game and turn it into something truly terrifying. And there's going to be a picture of this for those of you who don't believe me. It's literally you literally take these slices of pizza out from Freddy's face, and when he he literally jump scares you like ah! You know.
I had a game like that, which I also think was called Don't Wake the Dog. And basically, you've got this little green field where the dog's in a doghouse, and there's 3 sheep, and you have to pull it's like pop-up pirate. You have to pull each ticket in turns to pull a bit of the fence, and if you pull the wrong one, dog leaps out and eats one of the sheep. It's like,
Yeah.
I
Remixing
think there was
board
another
games.
game like that called Don't Wake Dad.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what I was thinking of when that sounded familiar.
we were Christmas shopping the other day, and I saw an actual Jumanji board game.
Oh, I saw that too.
Yeah, and I really want to go back and pick it up at some point because that sounds quite fun.
Yeah. The only thing that disappointed me really is that it's in like a sort of cardboard box. It's not like, a wooden one like in the movies, but hey, at least people can get a glimpse of it before they get traumatized by it. So, Rowan, any gifts spring to mind?
In the past,
Well, yeah, obviously we all know the story about you getting a unicycle.
yeah, that was an interesting year.
Yeah.
Well, the only one that really sticks out to me is the first Nintendo DS I ever got.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah, because, you get this brand spanking new console and it's like, it's the first console that is my own. Because
Yeah.
back then, me and my brother had to share, like, the PS2 and, that's all we had, a
Mm.
PS2 between us.
Yeah.
Granted, he played it more than I did. I just tended to watch him, which was fun, but, still,
Yeah.
that was the first console that was actually mine, and I was happy.
Cool. Good choice as well. PS2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A lot of good games and memories on that one.
Yeah. Something interesting I found while I was Christmas shopping. They very recently opened up a Disney store in a mall in Glasgow, and I was like, oh, hey, this is convenient. And I was looking around, and I saw some of these figures that looked an awful lot like the Disney Infinity figures. Like, oh, hey, Disney Infinity, long time no see. I thought these had gone off shelves like a year ago. But then when basically, all right, you know what Disney Infinity is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, basically the Skylanders games, but with Disney, Star Wars, and Marvel characters. And I took a closer look, and I realized, wait, these aren't even for a game. These are actual toys that and it was that kind of stood out to me because the Disney Infinity games, I'm a bit of a collectaholic, I will admit.
Mhm.
And now my figures are just on display or in boxes gathering dust. But I do like to bring them out whenever new sequels or releases come out. And the neat thing about these new Disney Infinity figures, which they've now renamed to Disney's Toy Box figures,
Mm-hmm.
and it's pretty unique how they've recycled this old concept into something that kids will enjoy for many more years, because now you can actually take them off the stands and you can pose them in any way you want and play with them
Nice.
like how we used to do it. So I thought that was fascinating.
Yeah, I quite like Lego Dimensions. Was quite a good example of that as well.
Yes.
But, though I do have to say, I'm sorry, Lego, but Lego was already expensive before you combined with a game. Jeez.
Yeah. Yeah, because the Toys to Life genre is always going to be an expensive one, because
Yeah.
you just want to get a collection, whether it be all of them or just your personal favorites, and it's always going to cost you something, because oh hey, it's a new figure, oh hey, it's a new playset or something. So yeah, but to have my own minifig of Sloth from the Goonies, totally worth it. All right.
Oh, Fresher Show, oh, Fresher Show, this is the Christmas podcast.
Well, it's come to this. It's time for the last year's segment of the month's most ridiculous headlines. Alright, in this month's news, a Florida man has kidnapped a scientist to make his dog immortal.
Why is it always people from Florida?
Now, I'm not saying he's right, but I get it.
Yeah. I mean, I'd like to make these fluff balls live forever, like cats.
Yeah, Edward and Bella, just keep in mind, she's not the one who named them.
It was my mum. It was my mum, I swear.
Okay, I guess this is a bit grim for the Christmas spirit, but here goes. So, I've been watching Netflix Castlevania,
Right.
and I kind of binge watched it yesterday. And one of the characters, basically, he brings animals, like he can bring animals back from the dead if he wants to. But when he, let's say, a dog had like just like bones for legs and no like flesh or anything, he brings them back and they still run around with like the same like bony leg. It doesn't hurt them or anything. And then so would it, if imagine, let's say hypothetically someone brought back a dog and they were running around in your house with like a bony leg, how would you take it? Would it be horrifying or would it be
I don't know. I've just the only image I've got in my head right now is that dog trying to chase his own legs because they're made of bones now. Yeah, like some sort of weird Frankenweenie, just him running around in circles, like. Yeah, but I can understand why this guy did this, even if it's real or not. I can understand because people would do anything for their pets. Like, I'd do anything for my dog Oscar.
As for the dog bone legs thing, I think it would just be one of those things you'd have to get used to if it was your dog. Like, oh my god, Bunny, you're alive! Oh my god, what happened to you?
Yeah.
Oh, but you're so cute. I love you. We'll figure something out for you.
Did they go into much explanation how he was going to keep this dog immortal?
I don't know. I think it was diagnosed with some disease or something, and he was desperate for a cure or something, and he was like, "Okay, you come, cure him, please," or something.
Make my dog live forever.
All right. Okay, here's another headline. A mother is accusing Southwestern Airlines employees for mocking her daughter's name. Now,
What's the name?
ABCDE. That's literally her name. Like Abcd.
Why?
I don't know. It's oh my god. There's actually a really famous Sesame Street sketch that had me thinking about. Basically, the character Big Bird, he basically says during one episode, like, "Oh, I remember when I first saw the alphabet, I didn't think it was just a group of letters. I thought it was an actual word." And yeah, because you know when you see the alphabet, it's all in a straight line. So Big Bird just automatically assumes it's one word that goes Abkadefki Jekyll Rixes.
Do you know, I'm just sorry. I'm just blown away by the fact you could be the perfect voice for Big Bird if they ever needed someone to dub him in those last couple of seconds.
Hey there, Elmo. What you doing? Oh, hi, Big Bird. Like, Merry Christmas. That's Elmo. I was quoting Elmo. All right. Okay. Yeah.
I might, on the subject of strange names, I might have mentioned this before, but I heard ages ago someone was trying to get their son's name to be Dracula,
Yeah.
which I thought sounded awesome. But
Some people.
It sounds cool, but it's just one of those things. Like, imagine calling your baby Wolfgang. It's like, come here, little Wolfgang. It's like, it sounds cool when you're an adult, but as a child, it's just a little weird.
Yeah.
yes, or Dudley.
You know, it's funny you should say weird names, because this next headline is another weird namer. Alright. American preschool students have a chart to greet each other, where they can choose to wave, high five, fist bump, or shake each other's hands. Yeah? So, that's a pretty common thing. Like, you don't know how to greet someone, and the person just points to the chart like, oh, you like your personal space, I'll just give you a fist bump. So,
Interesting.
yeah, but that's not the reason this thumbnail made it in. Do you want to know the name of the teacher who came up with this concept of children greeting each other?
What?
Her name is Mrs. Schlapper. Yeah. Hello, children!
Oh dear.
How
And her solution to making sure you don't invade someone's personal space is a fist bump.
Well, maybe
So,
if it's...
Slapper?
Yeah, Mrs. Slapper. That's worse than Fanny Schmeller.
I was going to make that joke, but I didn't know if you'd heard it.
Oh, hello.
That's... it's one of those... It's like one of those weird German names, like, you don't know if it's real or not until somebody addresses you as it. Oh, God.
Oh, dear.
And here's the next headline. Virtual Japanese superstar Hatsune Miku will be performing at the London Olympia. Now, for those of you who don't know who Hatsune Miku is, she's actually...
Have you been living under a rock?
Yeah. She's a program that allows people to make songs, basically, where she speaks in a electronic sort of voice, where she says a vowel or a consonant, and you piece them together to make the lyrics of different songs, okay? But over time, she's taken on a physical form. Basically, she's like the Crazy Frog of Japan.
Except a lot better.
Yeah, and she survived the test of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what strikes me as fascinating about this headline is the fact that in Japan, Hatsune Miku has performed on stage in the form of a hologram. The only people who are actually on stage while she's performing is her band that's performing the music, while she's just on center stage dancing and singing along. So it's pretty strange how people actually pay money to see a hologram dancing and singing.
Before long, they'll be making holograms of people after they've departed. And people will be paying to see that.
That reminds me of another thing that I saw. Another item from Japan where it's basically like this little cylinder where it projects a hologram of a certain character, and it sort of acts as a family member or as a partner in some cases. And some people might see it as a bit weird, but I think it has potential. Like, if you can have this website dedicated to this device that it basically projects this little anime character into the cylinder and acts as, like I said, one of the family. And
it's kind of like a very high-tech Siri, isn't it?
Yeah.
It can tell you the weather, or it can
Compliment, yeah.
give you reminders and that sort of thing. But it also like texts you as a family member would, like, when will you be home? And you have like the predetermined answers, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah, but like I say, some people may see it as weird, but I think it has potential because
Imagine having your favorite character as a family member.
Exactly. That's what I was getting to. Like, if you could program like celebrities or cartoon characters or superheroes, even just for the purpose of motivational speaking, like, you can do this. I know you can get this done today. Like, it would be brilliant. Imagine
Like,
that.
come on.
Like, you could just program. Oh, I wanna talk to Winnie the Pooh or something. Like, here he comes. Here he appears. Why, hello there, little fella. I heard you were in hospital. Don't worry, you're going to be just fine. Like, that would be brilliant. Imagine that.
Yeah, unless
Yeah.
you're like, or you'll be the thing, but then you'll be in the library, or you'll get home one day from work a little later. You'll come through the door inside. Tama will say, "Oh, you're home later again," or something. You know, it's like, "Oh, stop nagging me, for Christ's sake!" It's like, just be nag.
Like, I think how you could get celebrities in here, like, you could, like whatever a child would, you would ask it, like, a certain question to a certain celebrity, like, oh, what's your favorite pastime? Ellen DeGeneres or something, just as an example. And what if she could get the text and she could then voice her answer, which would then be channeled through her hologram model? Like, that has potential. It's just unfair that it's already been invented and hasn't shown that much in developing of that idea yet. But
Yeah.
anyway, that's pretty clever.
I guess you've still got the I forget the name, but you've got the box in the room. And you go, "Hey, so and so, could you look up this?" And you can program it to have certain voices like Darth Vader or stuff like that. You know.
Like
Hey
Siri and
Siri.
Alexa?
Yeah, Alexa. That's it. That's what I was trying to think of. So, but without the hologram side, I mean, it would be quite cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Imagine
I
having Loki tell you the weather.
yeah, that would be
Like,
It's going to be sunny. Don't get sunburned, silly mortal.
like, as you can see, my brother is causing mayhem in the netherworld thanks to his poor attempt at a superpower with his thunderstorms.
in preparation for this podcast. I was keeping an eye out for posts and things on the news, and there's one where they've gone really deep in the ocean and they've discovered like new life. Like, there are these sort of what I want to say, crystal-like worms down there, and they're like, people are saying, if it's so dark down there, and then why would you make stuff look so beautiful? Like, why has evolution made it that way? But they're still researching it and stuff. But it sounded interesting.
Crystal
Yeah, that
worms.
sounds awesome.
Crystal.
Yeah, like they're assuming that evolution came from the Earth's crust and it's made its way up, and that's what they're wondering, how these worms or life like that down there is affected by what we do and how it all comes together and stuff.
I'm starting to see the rise of Steven Universe in our own world now, because crystal worms.
Oh no.
Crystal worms is just the start. Soon we'll be seeing the crystal gems.
Yep.
Is it bad? I haven't seen any Steven Universe yet.
Ooh.
That thing.
Well,
I've heard it's good.
yeah, it is definitely
Alright.
worth watching. Well, it seems we've got enough footage for this podcast, guys. So, anything you want to end off with?
I guess I want to thank everybody for staying with us for 12 months,
Yeah.
and let's hope we'll get a 2019 podcast going.
Yep. What in jokes will be brought up next year? What'll crowd up this set even more? Like, You know, one last thing I do want to bring up is that in terms of wrapping this year up, this year has basically been the year of crossovers in terms of movies. Because
Yeah.
we've had the virtual world of Ready Player One, we've had the
Yeah.
Avengers teaming up in Avengers Infinity War,
Yep.
Disney is pulling out the big guns with Ralph Rex the Internet, and hopefully,
Rex the Internet.
yeah, and hopefully this Saturday, me and Rowan will be seeing 6 different Spider-Men team up in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's going to be quite a few things happening over December. Like, I'm actually attending a wedding of one of Rowan's cousins there, so that's
Cool.
something to look forward to.
Yep.
Well, I hope you all have happy holidays, whatever ones you celebrate. Just try not to get your holidays mixed up. Because let's just hope Santa on a cross is very unlikely to happen again.
Alright, please don't make that a running beam.
Oh
Please.
God, I'm not gonna put that in the background. All
No.
right.
Oh,
And remember, parents, don't handcuff your children to a table unless you have the key for the handcuffs.
yeah, please don't do that.
Yep. So hopefully we'll see you guys all next year for a brand new season of podcasts. So from all of us here, happy holidays. Goodbye.
Happy holidays.
Happy Hanukkah.
Happy Kwanzaa.
Happy whatever.